reviews, discussions, and theories about films in horror, sci-fi, and genre. This is the Horror Deconstruction. Like, share, and subscribe to hear more.
What's up, everybody? It's the Horror Deconstruction. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, most likely on YouTube. This is 31 Days of Horror with your host, Comp. For today's episode, you can check out all of our episodes and like it, subscribe, hit that bell icon, thumbs up, etc., all that stuff. Today's film we're going to be talking about is Hurt from 2018. A soldier reunites with his wife to take in the attractions at their favorite Halloween spot, but when real terror follows them home, they must fight for their lives or become the next attraction. Directed by Sonny Mali, written by Solomon Gray and Sonny Mali, starring Emily Van Ray, Andrew Creer, and Bradley Hamilton. So how I heard about this film is that I'd seen some recommendations for it being a incredible horror film, an incredible indie, because apparently these people are full of crap, because I haven't really followed this internet rule where people say, if you see the Gravitas Ventures logo, stay far away, because they produce nothing but schlock movies. I don't know, I can't really recall many Gravitas Ventures movies I've seen. Apparently they're the production company that produces a lot of films in bulk, and you see them a lot on Tubi. So people say Tubi has a lot of great horror movies, and which it does, but they do have a lot of crap horror films, and I believe that Gravitas Ventures may be some of them in there. Regardless, this film is a film that was actually a short that was in lots of film festivals, and what they did is they actually added more material to lengthen the film to a regular standard film size, if you will, by Sonny Mali. Now, this is the thing. They sell it as if... I know one of the things that they talked about it most was like it really deals with, or one of the reviews I read, it really deals well with PTSD and how it affects the character. So I thought this was the whole film was sold as this more of emotional, artistic horror film and how it deals with real problems and it's based on a true story. All this malarkey that ended up being fake. As far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen anything that's related to this, or I tried to look up articles that were dealing with this. I don't know how true the story is. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Movie's so bad I didn't even bother looking up what it was based on, because they should just sue whoever was this really happened to. They just sue for this bad movie. So why am I calling it a bad movie? This is an art house film, or it's trying to be an art house film. This is when people see, let's say, just like an art house film like It Follows. Now you can say that's an art house horror film because it's not a sort of a traditional horror film. It has a really interesting concept in It Follows, but they take some really cool artistic licenses, as in there's no set timeline of where the film takes place. It could take place in the 80s or the 2000s, depending on like the material that the characters use in the film. That's not even it. There's opening shots where a woman is running into the center frame while the camera does a 360. A really interesting shot in that film. So you can kind of get an artsy edge of it. Even the Babadook is art house because of the way that it handles grief and masks it with like this monster and stuff like that, and just the way it's filmed. Hurt, what they're trying to do with this art house film is that they'll leave the camera recording for 2 minutes up to a time and not moving the camera, leaving it static. And that's not art house. I don't know if they're trying to say we're letting you fall into and sink into this background, or this that you live in this world, or whatever this movie is taking place. But it's bullshit. It's fake. It's baloney. It's the worst type of art house crap, because I can go with slow films, but don't think you're Terrence Malick, where Terrence Malick knows how to film trees. He knows how to film stuff like that. You can watch it on a big screen and it looks great. There is a shot at the beginning of this film, which is about 2 minutes and 15 seconds of just looking up at trees and you're just hearing nature, which is fine as it is, but it's not even framed right. It just doesn't look good, and I feel bad because I believe that the director wants to make something look good, but there's just something, so the budget shows through really badly in this film. And not that the movie's a bad-looking film, it's just that they take shots for no reason. There's a sequence in the movie Dragged Across Concrete, the movie with Mel Gibson and I forget the other guy's name, but the other actor, he's from Freaky. I forget the guy's name. He was in the remake of Vince Vaughn. That's it. There's a scene where he's eating a sandwich, and you see him finish a sandwich, and the scene is like the same amount, 2 minutes. And usually, like, you'd be like, oh my god, just finish that sandwich. But it was funny because it's Vince Vaughn finishing a sandwich, and it seems like there's no other reason than to just show him eating this like sandwich, and that's what this is. But it's just looking at trees, and it doesn't seem to make any sense. Like that looks like it's a somebody just clipped it off of a YouTube video where you're supposed to fall asleep to it, and it doesn't make. I mean, it just serves no purpose to the rest of the film. Another scene happens like that where the girl in here is like preparing a lunch or something, and it's the camera does not move away from her for like about 2 minutes. I think she's cutting up an apple or something, and the whole PTSD angle is BS because it's a red herring because there's a main character. There's two main characters. Well, there's really one main character. There's a guy and this girl. This guy has come back from the war. I don't know whether he might be a little bit abusive, but he's suffering from PTSD, and PTSD in this film means that you just have your eyes wide in shock and you look crazed. That's what PTSD in this movie. There's a sort of okay sequence where he's in the bathroom and he's freaking out. So the guy meets up with his girlfriend after he's come out of service, and they go to their favorite Halloween spot. It's sort of like a haunted hayride kind of thing, and a live fake execution thing going on. Well, I'm not even skipping. The first half of the movie is like first 5 minutes of the movie is a fake horror movie. I guess they might have just filmed this for the trailer, and it's this cheap like sequence of a girl like laying down in the fields, which we have that infamous 2-minute trees sequence for no reason, and then she gets attacked by people in masks, and it's supposed to look cool, but it looks about as expensive as Terrifier was, so it looks like they made it for $3. Cuts to the main character as she is drawing up on a mask and she's walking around, and I might just be poo-pooing how the film is, but literally like a lot is said about nothing that happens in this movie. It's when they say a true story, you could believe it because there's nothing really happening in this movie other than the last 15 minutes. The PTSD guy is wiped out immediately. You'd think it was a red herring because you think, oh, maybe it's going to be either a You're Next thing where an army guy like fights back against whatever slashers there are, and you can see it's led up that way, or he could be the slasher himself, but then he's killed off. And some random mask guy comes in and starts attacking this woman and her friends, and it's very much like the film that it's the producers that worked on. I think the Strangers, you know, that movie about the home invaders. That's what I think they thought this movie would be, that they can fool people into watching this movie. I myself haven't seen The Strangers, but I know what the movie's about, and it's got to be better than this. That's all I'm saying. That if it got a couple of sequels, not saying that all good movies get sequels, because I hope this one doesn't get a sequel. But it's just this is just such a not a poorly made, because there's good visuals in the film. Not like the one with the trees. Like if you had that tree for 30 seconds, that's fine. But like certain camera sequences look fine. The acting is all right. I mean, it's fine except for the PTSD overacting. The girl is quite fine as the lead character. This is why I'm not even getting into the main characters' names, because it doesn't matter. There's nothing of importance that happens in this film. And the ghoul guy is not even he's not even sinister enough to be like interesting like the Strangers characters are. Do you know what I mean? He's not. There's nothing about him that he looks like he just walked out of like a Spirit Halloween or something. That's it. And so all this, you know, killing goes on, and it's bad blood effects and just like off-screen killings and stuff like that. And then at the very end, and it shows you that the fake execution at the beginning of the film was actually him killing somebody. So oogity boogity, this person could really exist, and it's just so poorly paced. I can't even remember if there was an actual score for this movie. I don't remember anything else that really stood out with this film. If you want to see a better horror film, you can check out films that are well in this vein, like Hellfest or Haunt. And I'm stretching it by saying Hellfest is any great type of film, but those are better anonymous killer films. Although Haunt, the reveal of the kills is kind of funny. But go watch those films. This isn't really a film. This film's like a student project. And I listen. I go for bat for indie creators like crazy, but this seems like they had no idea how to fill whatever remaining time to make this a feature length for their short film, and they just packed it in with nonsense and long shots that serve no purpose. There's no real character development. It seems like you're just watching for watching's sakes. It's like watching paint dry. It's a horror equivalent of the movie American Splendor, which people like. I was sort of bored through that movie, but it really is quite a boring experience and quite the letdown of a horror film, according to all the reviews I had read for it. So I would give this a no thanks instead of my usual number rating. You can hear that when we're with groups of people, but a no thanks from me. Not bothering with it. Who cares? All right, if I gotta be regular, it's a 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. Watching the trees for no reason. Thank you for listening to the Horror Deconstruction.